This is John Pulver. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, continuing my coverage of Johnny Depp vs. Amber Heard, getting into some details here, and I wanted to cover Winona Ryder's extended statement. I've never seen it before. I figured for you guys on the channel who are interested, we'll go over it all. So, here we go. Winona Ryder on her Netflix show Stranger Things, Nostalgia, and Johnny Depp. My editor would kill me if I had you here and didn't ask you about the recent allegations of domestic abuse against Johnny Depp. Look, I mean, obviously, I can only speak from my own experience. It's very tricky because if it were any other type of scandal, like cheating, you could be like, none of my business, no comment. Not appropriate for me. But I think because what is being said is so horrific and such a global issue for millions of women, obviously, that I understand why people feel it is their business. I get it, and I get why you ask. So that's kind of nice. Winona Ryder felt the obligation to get involved and defend Johnny. I can only speak from my own experience, which was wildly different than what is being said. I mean, he was never that way towards me. Never abusive at all towards me. I only know him as a really good, loving, caring guy who is very, very protective of the people that he loves. It's hard because I feel like that's my experience, and it's been a very long time. I don't know how you feel about it, but it's like anybody who says anything about it is a victim blamer. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm not calling anyone a liar. I'm just saying it's difficult and upsetting for me to wrap my head around it. Look, it was a long time ago, but we were together for 4 years, and it was a big relationship for me, and we have a lot of mutual friends. I just never heard anything like that about him. But again, I feel like even saying that, I'm going to get death threats or something. I'm not on social media, so maybe I will be spared. But yes, it's really hard. I don't know what your love history is, but imagine someone you were in a relationship with was accused of this. I get that there are patterns of abuse. I get why you're asking me, but it's weird because imagine if someone you dated when I was 17 when I met him, was accused of that. It's just shocking. I have never seen him be violent towards a person before. It's just hard to picture. The only word I can come up with is unimaginable. You know, with certain people you hear something and go, I can see that. But this isn't that. So anyway, this is the first time I've said anything, so I don't know. I can only offer my own experience. It's such a serious, horrible thing to be accused of. It's almost as if your brother or someone you just never... So, you know, there's a part of me that is thinking, is it even appropriate for me to say anything? But because of the seriousness of it, it's been brought into a thing where it's trickier for me to say none of my business, but that's all I have to offer is my own experience, which is a very, very long time ago. This interview has been condensed and edited. Okay, so I don't have the full thing, but I think that was a lot more than I've seen before. So here's the main point I want you guys to think about. Now, probably some of you guys, and myself included, haven't thought too much about the actual statement and why she made it. Now, the important thing to note is when somebody famous, anybody famous usually, with exceptions, is asked a question, they give a short answer. And a lot of times you're trying to figure out what they're thinking from this short answer because they didn't want to say anything. And even if they wanted to say something, they gave you like the short end of the stick, so you'd have to figure out some of it. But it seems like Winona Ryder wanted to keep talking about it, okay? And when you want to keep talking about something, that means it's probably really bothering you, and that means you have a really strong feeling about it, and that also means she might have thought about it before the interview because she probably knew at some point she'd be asked. Even just myself, maybe you, if you are asked a question you don't want to answer but you feel a little obligated, you give a short answer. You just, okay, I'll say this, or you have an excuse in your head why you can't answer it, something like that. So really, the fact that she gave such a long answer, and apparently longer because they edited it, really stands out to me as truth, basically. Or at least what she perceived as the truth. Someone else brought up, and I've been thinking too, that you don't just change and become an abuser in your 50s. So the fact that she was younger when she was with Johnny, I don't think it's a big deal. I know I haven't changed my core concepts and morals from when I was like 20. I did some bad shit, you know, but I didn't actually change how I treated people. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to fucking steal a comic book anymore. I'm not going to, you know, write graffiti on the wall anymore. But I never hit anyone back then, and I wouldn't hit anyone now. So, my point is, I think your core concepts and morals stay the same for the most part. And of course, Amber is shady as shit, so we've got that too. Anyway, doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. You guys, let me know what you think below. If you subscribe here, you'll get videos. If you don't subscribe, well, I guess I'll be sad, but I'll live with it. See you next time.